Mickey Devlin, Ayr United club captain, and you're watching Quill 18.
Hey folks, Quill 18 here, and we are back with a second season of playing as the Honest Man, as Ayr United Football Club here in Football Manager 2017. For those of you who don't know, Football Manager is a heavily stats-driven game where you manage a foot soccer ball team and try to do awesome things with numbers, basically. And we had a season. We played a full season as Ayr United, and we did pretty damn well with them. They had been predicted to come in 10th, dead last in the league. And in fact, the real-life Ayr United did exactly that and has been regulated down to League One. They've dropped out of the Championship League in real life. But we actually beat all the odds makers, all the media productions, and came in third last season, which was stupendous. Really, really, really happy with that. As a result, we have a lot of extra money to spend because we've got there's a pretty big where do we go to actually just see the league we're in? There was a pretty big prize pool for coming in third overall in the league. A bunch of money that was given to us. As a result, we have a whole lot more money to play with in our budget, and we have spent a fair amount of it. We've done some transfers. Right now, the slider is heavier on the wage budget side, just because I want to see if that would lift the maximum wage that my board would allow me to pay for my players, which is not currently the case. We're kind of capped at about £1,600 pounds per week over here for any individual player, and haven't quite figured out a way to lift that. I suspect as the overall club money situation gets a little bit stronger, they may go ahead and lift that. As you can see, the club still has to repay some loans. It's still currently in debt overall, even though it's gotten a pretty substantial boost from our good performance, and hopefully that will continue to be the case. As a result, maybe because I'm still new at the club, I've only been here for a year, and as a result of being still in the red as the overall balance, I'm also having a really hard time getting the board to accept any requests to, say, improve our stadiums or increase wages or do a variety of different things. So hopefully we can get the board to budge on that at some point. I mean, right now they're relatively happy with me. We're stable. We've got positive board confidence. We had issues trying to succeed in... We'd promised a certain club philosophy last year, part way through the year, and even though we were trying, I thought, to play direct football, apparently that didn't work out. So we got a negative thing over there. So right now we have no philosophies that we've promised. But other than that, things are going pretty well, and the board's got no real issues with us. So yeah, so we are back for the 2017-2018 season, but many, many, many things have changed with our team. You're going to see many new names in our lineup over here as we've gone over the last few months and done quite a few transfers. In fact, there's probably going to be at least one more recruitment. We really need at least one extra person who can play on the as a right winger, if at all possible. It also wouldn't be bad if they were versatile enough to play either as the attacking midfielder winger or a winger just as a direct midfield over here, depending on what kind of composition we're looking for. We've actually got 3 tactics that will work really well with our team composition, depending on what we're actually looking for. I've been playing this, actually, which is pretty aggressive tactic, in the preseason, and it's worked out pretty well for us. So what I decided to do, and I talked about this, well, at the end of the last series, but I've also talked about this when I did a little bit of preseason live streaming. What I was going to do is I'm just going to record the home games. You people have season tickets at Somerset Park. You are going to be attending all the home games, so I'm going to be recording all the home games and not do the away matches unless they're a particularly important or critical match for some reason, at which point you guys are going to load onto the fan bus and make the trip out to wherever the heck we might be playing at that particular time. But this way, the season will go a little bit quicker. It'll be a little easier to fit into our recording schedule, but I think we'll get just as much of the story. So yeah, all the home games, not the friendlies, but all the regular home games, and any important game will be recorded over here. So we haven't started our regular season, like our true regular season, the Ladbrokes Championship here. That hasn't kicked off yet. Right, we've done our friendlies, and we're in the Betfred Cup over here. And we started off very well with this 5-1. Now, the Albion Rovers here, they are a League One team, so they're one league below us. And today, we're probably going to start the series with a loss, unfortunately, because we're playing against Inverness over here, and they are in the Premiership League. a league above us. Now, that's sort of the bottom of that league, but most likely this is still going to be difficult. We're going to be playing at home, which is going to be good. We're going to have to consider what kind of strategies we might want to use for them. We don't have any scouting information for them yet, but that should be coming in any day over here. Now, in this episode, I'm not going to play the game. So if you're looking for game 1, just go ahead and skip to the second episode. Instead, what we're going to talk about today is what has gone on with our team in terms of transfers and in terms of the tactics that we are going to be looking at for this particular season here. Now, the first thing I want to do is start with a little bit of bad news. After the end of last season, so over the last couple of months of real life as well as the last couple of months of in-game Football Manager time, I've been trying to figure out what to do with these transfers, how to manage the players. Contract negotiation is not something that we had to do that much in the last season, partially because every one of our players was going to be through until the end of the season, and our recruitment potential was pretty limited because we didn't have much in the way of money. But I've really had to explore a lot more of that over the break here. But still being limited by the fact that the board was not willing to go above a certain pay wage per week. And that, unfortunately, meant that we have lost the fantastic Gary Harkins over here. Gary Harkins, who, of course, we loved and was a cornerstone of our team. He was one of the first contracts I tried to renegotiate. And he wanted, I guess because we'd done so much better and because there was so much more money available to the squad, he wanted to be paid a lot. I don't remember what it was because this was a couple of months ago. But we have a per week cap of £1,600 per week, and I think he was asking for something like 25 or like something like that, £2,500 per week. On the live stream, people pointed out a couple of different ways where you could just like throw a ton of extra money as a one-time bonus. We used that to recruit someone that we recruited over here. I don't remember who it was, had wanted quite a bit more cash. I think it was Tom Pope per week, and people were like, well, just pay him a much bigger signing bonus, and he may accept the smaller per week. And I had tried offering Gary Harkins a bit of a premium, but he was like insulted by the offer and walked away and wouldn't talk again about re-upping with Air United. So it is, I should have just gone bigger and just thrown pots of money at Gary Harkins to keep him. Unfortunately, he is no longer going to be with the team. Maybe we can try to chat with him again. At the next transfer window. Maybe he'll have a change of heart and want to come back because he is quite lovely. One of the things I did is I went into the preferences over here, and this was a cool little trick. Preferences, interface, and then skin color. What you can do is you can change the threshold for the attribute levels, how the attributes get color-coded. So I said anything over 9, that's going to be considered good for us at our level. It seems relatively decent. So 9 and above. And the excellent attribute threshold, I set to 13. I also made the excellent attribute to nice golden color, so they really stand out. And you can see that based on that, like Gary Harkins was just like a big bucket of stats that was just really good. And it is such a shame to have lost them, which is too bad. But we have picked up some really solid people, and we have really added a lot of depth to our team in a lot of different positions, and in particular picked up a lot of people who are stronger than most of the people that were on the team before. Now, I was playing this tactic here, as I was mentioning, over in our setup. And during the friendlies, I was sort of splitting 50-50 between a couple of different tactics. And while there's not a whole lot of scores that you can see, we created about twice as many scoring chances while we were running this. I mean, in a sense, it's a 4-4-2, right? 4 at the back, 4 midfielders, and then 2 strikers at the front over here. With the exception that Lebaron and Forrest are actually pushed forward a little bit more. So it's quite aggressive. There's a possibility that we might get overrun a little bit in the midfield. But of course, on defense, these guys are going to move back over here. So let's talk about Vincent Lebaron over here, who is one of the first pickups that I picked up that I was quite keen with. Oh, it's $1,700 a week. That's our cap, not $1,600, but still somewhere around there. Not a whole lot of golden stats, but what's nice about him is he is very comfortable playing on either flank of the attacking midfielder. Interestingly enough, like he's more comfortable playing as an inside forward on the right, which is actually quite interesting because, I mean, he doesn't have the greatest crossing in the world, although at a 9 he's And again, we're going to consider that good for our league. Not excellent, but good for our league. So as a result, he's actually like not a bad winger for that. He can actually cross the ball halfway decently. Compared that to Alan Forrest, who actually has no real crossing strength. So, not stupendous stats, but a lot of very solid double-digit stuff. And he's actually been working out really well for us. I felt very happy with his pickup. I mean, he's very comfortable playing as a winger. That's going to be okay. So Vincent Lebaron, who is French and only speaks French. We've got him on a language course right now to try to teach him English, so that he will be more comfortable with the team. I don't know if there's a meter for that somewhere. There probably is. You see, language is spoken over here, so we're trying to get him to learn English so that he can just integrate into the team a lot better, and we'll see how it goes. But so far, I've been very happy with how he's performed in our early games, so I think he's going to be good. And of course, we did have the problem that for a long time last season, we ran with something like this, and actually, we're still going to run for some of this as part of it. But against certain compositions, we were getting really like bottled up in the middle here in the attacking zone, and we really wanted that extra width. But the only person that we had on our entire squad that could play any kind of winger was Alan Forrest, and he was only comfortable playing on the right over here. We did have McGuffey. Craig McGuffey was a discovery we picked up at some point. I don't remember, was he on the youth team, or was he just like one of the bench warmers for a long time? We discovered Craig McGuffey late last season. Again, we didn't trade for him. He was on our squad in some capacity. But it started to occur to us that, you know what? I think he's going to do pretty well for us. And at first, we were playing him, I think, as an attacking midfielder over here. And again, you can see the inside forward or the winger. I think the reason they flip these is because of footedness. I think one role works better if you're playing opposite foot from the side you're on, and the other role works better if you're playing the same foot as the side you're on. But the thing with Craig McGuffey here is, I mean, he's still young and he's still developing a lot in his technique and mental skills, although he's not terrible there, except for his corner taking, but that doesn't matter. But his physical stats are really, really good. He's got a lot of speed, in particular, like his pace, which is his maximum speed, is really good for this league, but I'm particularly keen on his acceleration. I don't think we need him to necessarily hit super high speeds. We just need to be able to go from standing to a high speed very quickly. And for that reason, we're going to be playing him mostly in the role of a poacher, really like pushing the line as far forward as possible without going offside. And the second the ball gets sent forward, he can hopefully explode past the defender and then go ahead and score. So even though his current ability over here is rated at only 2.5 stars, I think his that role that he's going to be able to play is going to be really good. His off the ball is great. His vision's maybe not as high as we might like, vision and anticipation. But that should develop with time, because as you age, these are the sort of stats that come up that way. So we'll see what we can do. Not too tall, but very quick, and he's going to be paired up with either Mr. Tom Pope over here, who we actually went and actually recruited outright, but we still have Jamie Thomas as well. Notice that Craig Moore is no longer in our list. Craig Moore had been on loan to us, and I don't think we were able to renew the loan at that time. There's also a limit. You can only have up to 4 players on loan at any given time. Well, I think 5 throughout the season, 4 at any one given time. Somehow, I think I may have had an extra one. I don't think we're going to need Sean McCurdy, so we're kind of hunting around the upper leagues, the Premier League of Scotland and England, to maybe see if we can pick up someone else on loan. And I think we're just going to release Sean McCurdy, but we haven't found that yet, so we're just keeping him on for now, and it's going to be okay. So, I was looking to recruit a striker. So we got Tom Pope here. At 31, he's still got some juice in the tank, especially for this league. And he's the big man to our poacher. He's going to be playing as a target man, and he and Thomas basically fill the exact same role. They're both rather tall, strong, good jumping reach, good heading skill, good first touch, and decent passing over here. So they're going to be very interchangeable in the role of the target man over here. Let's take a look at Jamie Thomas, and you can see the same sort of thing. Decent first touch, decent passing, and decent jumping reach. Not quite the same. He's got other skills going on compared to Tom Pope. I think he might have a better finishing. I'm actually not even sure if that's true. No, Tom Pope's got a finishing of 14. Like, he is actually a really, really good pickup. I'm very happy with him. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the club. His strength is impressive. It's funny because he only weighs 156 pounds for someone who's 6'3". I mean, this guy must look wire thin, but he's got a lot of strength in there, so, he's going to be able to create a little bit of space for himself, I'm pretty sure, and not get bullied around too much in the attacking zone. So, when again in the friendlies, this composition created a lot of shots on goals, even though we only had 2 goals in 3 friendlies, although we had clean sheets in all 3 games, so that was all right. But the round 1 of our tournament here, where's my schedule? Right over here. Round 1 of the Betfred Cup, we went 5-1 against the Albion Rovers. And again, yeah, they're a tier below us, but I mean, come on. And actually, if I recall correctly, I think this is the game we didn't actually even have a shot on goal for the first 25 minutes or something crazy like that. And I think that might happen from time to time because we do have a sort of a reduced midfield over here, and that might cause some issues. So we're gonna take a look at that a little bit more as we go forward. But the other thing I want to talk about in that match over here is the goals. None of the people on our team scored more than 1. You can see it came from a variety. Craig McGuffey, our poacher, scored. Tom Pope, who we're just looking at, scored. Jamie Thomas, who we subbed in for Tom Pope partway through, scored. So I guess our target man scored twice, in a sense you can look at it. But each one of our wingers scored once as well. And to me, I take that as a good sign, because it means to me, if all the goals had all come from, say, our poacher or target man, one of our strikers, for example, then it says to me that while that person might be, above average in our league, or, I mean, again, against the Albion Rovers, it means they might be able to get shut down. If if that person becomes suddenly tightly marked and just isn't able to do anything, maybe it shuts down the entire strategy that we've got here. But instead, we've proven that we can fire from a large variety of people. The poacher's a threat. The target man's a threat. Both wingers are a threat. And I kind of like that. It makes me very happy. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, Forrest is here. We are still hunting around for someone who might be an alternate to Forrest, or even might bump Forrest down to sort of a backup player over here, because I mean, at 3 stars, he's fine for the league. But I don't know. I think there might be some strength, some better strength. It is unfortunate that what is it showing? Advanced playmaker. Oh, from the middle there. Crossing is an important skill for a winger. He's not great at it, so that might be a bit of an issue. We could probably play him. He's actually more comfortable as an inside forward on this side here, where crossing is a little less important because the inside forward, once they've got the ball, they do cut in a little bit more. But we're going to leave this as is and see how it goes. So, yeah, I don't know. That's definitely one of the roles we're still looking around for. But there's been a real shortage. Like, we went in scouting mode, attacking midfielder right. There's not a ton of options here, and the options we have, like, I was originally doing a lot of scouting for people who were going to be superb or better. You can see there's only one option here. Like, what? That's not much, and he's being paid $2,500 a week right now, so he may not want to come onto our team. We could take a look, though. Oh, I'm on the loan screen. That might be part of it, too. If I go back over here, do we have a little bit more? No, we do have a little bit more going on. So I should take a look at that. And let's sort by wage first. Let's take everyone who is currently affordable. Oops. Come back over here. I didn't mean to actually click through you. Let's get just an initial scouting report on all these people. And then what we'll do is we will do some additional scouting of people who might be a little stronger. We might not get it in this transfer window. Do we have... There's somewhere that you get the countdown on the transfer window. Events list... Transfer window closes September 1st, really? Oh, so we got tons of time, actually. And then, of course, there's another one in January, so we might pick up someone there. All right, Andy Geegan is still over here, still going to kick some ass as ball-winning midfielder, we would hope. We've also picked up this Fraser fellow over here. So, Fraser, he is a Scottish national. Where did he come from? I don't remember. I guess we can go to history. We picked him up from... Oh, he was on a free. Yeah, we did a lot of that. We actually picked up a lot of people who were stronger than individuals who had in quite a few of the positions on free transfers. So again, we're being very economical for our club, even though we don't have to be quite as much. He's not bad. He did come in. He really wanted to play as a box-to-box midfielder, so we sort of promised that we'd mostly play him in that. I do generally want to avoid making too many promises. We'll talk about that another one in a moment when we get to Stephenson. But it seemed perfectly fair to have this guy maybe move around a bit to perhaps move it up forward and fill in this position. It may leave us to a bit more of a vulnerability in the middle. That is the one risk over here. That's very aggressive-minded, but could give up some defensive control over the midfield. We'll see how that goes. The interesting thing about Fraser here is he does actually have a decent long shot, and he likes to shoot from distance, and he likes to shoot with power. He does put out some crazy shots from time to time. I'm a little worried that he might fire that a little too much. I thought Try's killer ball was actually related to shooting as well, but apparently has more to do with sending a really risky pass forward. So he's sort of a high risk, high reward kind of character over here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to instruct him to shoot a little less often. He'll still take those crazy shots from time to time, but maybe discourage him from doing it quite as much, and we'll see how that works out. The back line hasn't really changed much. We've got Lammy, Magat, two people that we picked up during my run. No, I think Daryl Magat. No, I think I picked him up early last season. It may have been one of the first trades I did. I don't recall exactly, but Lammy, of course. Ricky Lammy, we did go and pick up. He's got I call him the golden head, because he's got good height, good jumping reach, and he's been doing a lot for us. And the thing is, what's funny to me is he doesn't just play all the way in the back. We did finally teach him. We taught him dives into tackles. He's getting a little bit more aggressive here. I mean, he already had an aggression of 18, so we'll see how it goes. But you'll actually see him get involved quite a bit in the final third as well, which is kind of surprising. We still have Mr. Crane, Caleb Crane, over on the left-hand side, a very attacking-minded left back. And Nicky Devlin, our captain, is sitting on the right. Again, we do have Tony Ralston, who's technically got slightly more stats than Nicky Devlin over here. But Devlin's our captain, so what are we going to do? We're not playing him. It does feel a little bit weird if we do that. We're still mostly starting Ross Duhin back here. We don't have a superstar goalkeeper, and we may look into sending some scout instructions that way in the not too distant future. So the other pickup of note worth talking about is Ryan Stephenson over here. And what's interesting about Ryan is that he has played for Ayr several times. He played for them from 2006 through to the end of 2010. He also played in the 2015-2016 series, went to Dumbarton. He was only there for one season. He was released on a free, so we went ahead and picked him up again. And that's the other person where I just sort of blindly said yes to the promises, and I shouldn't have, maybe, because Ryan Stephenson can actually play in a couple of different spots over here. And he may end up playing in the midfield from time to time, depending on the tactic. That being said, if we've got any tactic where we want an attacking midfielder, Stephenson will be there for it. But we did promise him not just to be an attacking midfielder specifically, but to be the Ongonch. I don't actually know how to pronounce that role. Ongonch is what it looks like to me, but whatever. We did promise him that. And that's fine. I mean, that's his strongest role, so we want to take advantage of the strongest role. But this is a role that implies certain things, right? This is a relatively static role. He doesn't move with the ball. Once he's got it, he's not going to move with the ball as much. You want someone who's relatively creative for this. And I mean, he does have the 13 in vision and in flair, for example. Decent composure, decent concentration, decent decisions, decent anticipation. Like, his mental game is relatively decent there for that sort of idea, where you're looking for him to have a good idea and then to get a good solid pass. I think probably he may have to get paired up with, we may have to, in this strat, get Lebaron and or Forrest to be a little bit more aggressive, to move in and try different things and just be more in here, and then Stephenson will see those opportunities. We'll see. This is very much the strategy, the tactic that we were running a lot of last year, especially in the latter half of last year, with Gary Harkins in this role. And I think Gary Harkins, I think, was playing more as an advanced playmaker, which I think is maybe more ideal, but it is what it is. we've still got the 4-3-1-2. Actually, I brought back the 4-3-1-2 as one of the tactics we're practicing, which I think this was one of the first tactics that we developed last year that worked well for us for a while, and then did fall off a little bit after a scooch. But this is kind of interesting, and this actually might be a better fit for having the Enganche role. Enganche with a couple of strikers in front to pass to. So again, we'd play the... we would play... what's his name? Craig McGuffey over here is the poacher, obviously, and then one of our target men, probably still. Although we could turn him away from a target man and maybe just have some sort of secondary attacking striker as opposed to a target man over here. Although I suppose I could put you as an attacking target man. But, and that might work. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, something like that. And it does offer a little bit more density in the midfield. I think there was a little bit of worry about maybe being a bit exposed on the flanks with something like this. But it might be manageable. So, that is that everyone to talk about? We picked up Kyle Turner. Hot prospect. I think this was just I think we picked him up on the free. I mean, you can see we picked up... No, Kyle Turner, there was a small fee. We did promise to fill the midfield, and I think this might have just been for a little bit more depth there. Relatively cheap. We had the money to burn, so it was like, what the heck, right? He seemed to be halfway decent. He might develop into something. Ryan Stephenson, Tom Pope. Jace Olivero over here, another hot prospect, and maybe a little bit more depth in the back left. And again, he was going to be relatively affordable for that. I like the natural fitness. It'll be interesting to see exactly how he develops going forward. And then Gary Fraser over there. So, Peter Murphy retired. And then we have a few people who left that, all these Michaels actually, who were not very strong players, as I recall, in our team, so that was going to be okay. Grant Thorburn is still decent, with some potential. He's only 18 years old. I would be a little happier if he had a higher natural fitness, because, that's going to act, in a sense, as a sort of a cap for his strength, acceleration, stamina, that sort of thing. And those stats aren't really there yet. I don't think we were planning on playing him much now, but he's young. He might still develop. Someone was interested in loaning him out, and we're willing to pay 100% of his salary for that time. So I said, you know what, that's fine. I don't think we're going to be using Grant anytime soon. If there does turn to be an injury in our central defenders, and we need a little bit more there, I can cancel this loan and bring him back home. So we'll take a look at that and see how it goes. He's got a couple of decent golden elements over here, but I'm most interested to see how his physical side develops. I don't think natural fitness is something that changes. I think that's just, his natural fitness, so we'll see how that goes. For now, that's going to be okay having him out on loan. So, we're going to have to give some think as to exactly what strat we're going to use with Inverness. I think part of it is going to come down to when we do get our scouting report in on them, how it goes. I think there's a possibility... we'll either play this one if we're feeling like something that has to be a little bit more defensive, or this one if we're feeling comfortable with just like being aggro around the flanks. But either way, I think with a better team we have to go with a counter mentality, and I'm not sure if this is really what we want to look at for that. So I think, even though this has been performing really well for us, I feel like against Inverness, I think we're going to look at something more like this. So again, we're going to have Craig McGuffey up there. And how are we feeling about this? Well, we're feeling okay, except for the fact that Andy Gigan is supposed to be a ball-winning midfielder. There we go. So we'll get two ball. I think Crawford can just be. Do we want you to be a playmaker? So I think as a playmaker, people are more inclined to pass to him. So people pass to Crawford, who would probably pass to Stephenson. How are you? I don't know. I think we might just... It is a role you're very comfortable in. But I think it's probably much more reasonable for us to play you as a... We're going to play everyone in the middle of support? Ish. I think you're going to be on defense, Mr. Andy Gigan. I think we're going to do that. I don't know if it matters where we're going to position people. Although a couple of ball-winning midfielders actually does kind of make sense. Especially, let's do a little swap here, because Fraser, as a ball-winning midfielder, or sorry, box-to-box midfielder, is going to be moving around a lot. So why not on both flanks have a ball-winning midfielder set up, with defensive-y kind of roles. Hang back, make sure to control this down while Fraser runs around all over the place like a madman. That's not too terrible. Do we want any specific instructions for this? Work ball into box has worked really well for us last time. Honestly, I think the work ball into box is kind of what's going to happen anyway. Not as many long shots, and I think we'll see how many shots on goal we get. And then we can pull this instruction off, and I think that might be okay. We've mostly been doing whip crosses in the past. They're a little bit more challenging than some of these others. We could try a few more float crosses because we do actually have someone with a decent header skill now. Let's just keep it mixed. It's going to be okay. With this particular one, I think mixed passing is going to be okay. With the 4-4-2 diamond, with our 2 attacking wingers, I think we want more direct passing. We really want to just get it up to the wings. Not clear to flanks necessarily, but direct passing to flanks, I think, in that particular situation. Here, I think we're going to be very comfortable passing it like kind of through the middle over to Stephenson, more of a short passing game. So we'll just leave it mixed. I think that's going to be fine. And Nicky over here, we might just leave you as an actual full defensive fullback. I mean, we're obviously not going to be making a lot of moves, but now we need a little bit of flexibility on here, actually. So you can be a fullback, be defensive minded, I think. But Crane, of course, he is meant to be a little bit more attacky. Fullback, traditional. I think the wingback's a little bit more forward. Yeah, defensive duties of wingers and fullbacks. And I think we actually might put Crane as an attacker over here. So he's gonna be moving a little further forward on this flank because he's quite good at it. And you know what? Maybe we'll leave Nicky as a defensive fullback, not complete fullback, even though he's more comfortable in that because it's a much easier role, right? The thing is, Nicky's got fitness. How old is Nicky over here? 23. It'd be nice to get him, like, if we could somehow develop a pair of wingbacks there. There's a possibility we overextend on the flanks, but I don't know. I don't know why he's training there. Must improve agility. All right, well, we'll go ahead with that. That's fine. His agility is only an 8. That's true. We'll play him as a fullback. Maybe he can help develop that way. Because there's a lot of potential here. He's got such good raw physical talent. If we could develop the rest of his technical and mental game, he could really, really excel. That was one of the other things. Okay, we're about to wrap this up. One of the other things I want to talk about. We are still capped very heavily on the number of people we can have a variety of roles. But, we did go and upgrade a lot of our coaches and scouts. We've been hunting around for people with better skills, so we've been replacing some of our existing coaches and scouts with people who have slightly stronger skills, trying to bring that up. We've got a second physio on board here as well to see what we can do. But yeah, our coaching team has improved just a scooch, if at all possible. It would still be nice to pick up another one. I would like someone with a better defensive rating. But I mean, again, we're limited, right? We can only have 3 coaches, right? So Wade, Michael, and Jack over here are 3 coaches. The assistant manager and the manager, myself here, are throwing in a little bit of extra assistance. I think we did replace our goalkeeping coach, so we've got someone a little bit stronger over there. But yeah, it would be nice. Maybe we could find a new fitness coach with someone with slightly higher. He's only got a 10. That actually might be something that we could look into. Staff search. No, that was me looking for the scouts over here. So find someone who's got who wants to be a fitness coach and coaching abilities. Sort by fitness. So we got some people here. Oh, 18. And what is this? Mental coaching. Interesting. Who is Andy Franks? Doesn't have the greatest motivating. Still, what a great fitness coach, isn't he? Who else we got? We got Nick Harvey over here, there we go. The 4 highlighted stats is a lot higher. Good level of discipline, decent motivating. Can we hire you? Full-time fitness coach. Yeah. I think we're going to be replacing our fitness coach here with Nick Harvey. Seems like a good addition. So we're going to keep trying to do that. In fact, like, I had not realized that this screen existed exactly in the past. I was mostly doing job searches by, like, putting up an advert, but we're going to use this more strongly going forward to try to find more people that we can replace our team with, like, our coaching team with. Well, that is some good attacking stats. Maybe there's something we can do. Some of these guys are looking to retire, though, but... Anyway, we're going to wrap this up now. Next episode, we're going to have our match against Inverness. And again, we'll try to televise all the home games and all the important games. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you're as excited for this season as I am. Make sure to drop that like if you are. And I'll see you guys next time.